Hey guys, Professor Harshman from my home studio, or otherwise known as the garage. So I'm going to show you a couple things that I've been doing with pochoir. I put some prints up on ELC, and I thought I would show you those prints as well, just little things I'm discovering about this. Alright, so let's try. So I've got some screen printing ink here, and some of it's actually even a little bit older, so I think when it's not so wet, it works better. So what I've been doing is sort of dabbing it on the lid a little bit. And you can see this stencil I cut from plastic. So what I'm doing is I just try to hold it down, and it seems like it depends on what ink you're working with. You've got screen printing ink and how loose it is. Kind of drier the better. But I'm just dabbing it through the stencil, right? Do this real quickly. And I guess if you wanted to, you could fade out your colors a little bit. Trying not to go below the stencil, although I found sometimes it's hard not to a little bit. But that's where we can curate them later. All right, so I'm dabbing through this. I'm gonna do kind of quickly so you can see it. Okay. And I've tried brushing it too. Kind of depends on what you're using, what you want it to look like. If it's really like liquidy, I think when you brush it, it might go under the stencil a little bit more. But there you go. So I'm going to lift this off, and there I've got my stencil. The other thing I tried was, see, I've got ink on the stencil from where I was sort of brushing it through, is I took a rag, and then on some of them I just put the stencil down and took the rag to clean off the stencil. Oops. Keep it on there. And you can kind of create another image just doing this, just cleaning your stencil. And I noticed this because I had another piece of paper that I was cleaning my stencils off of, and I thought, well, that looks kind of cool. I could even just use it in my print, right? So there you've got sort of the stencil when I inked it, and then the stencil when I cleaned it. I also had, you know, the little bits that I cut out from the stencil. So I was taking these and kind of holding them down as well as sort of a stencil on the paper and brushing around them, right? So I thought this looked kind of cool. Picking that up. And then I took the little piece, took my rag, kind of held it down to clean it off. I also used that as a kind of hold it off and wipe the ink on the paper. And again, it gets it a little ghostier. It's a little lighter. So that was just using the stencil.